Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Chemistry and Biology Concepts HSTR 2022-23 Chemistry class first about the chapter Food and its components. Coming to food and its importance in food. Food is essential for all living organisms. Plants prepare their own food and store in their special organs as a fruit, tubers, seeds, etc. Animals and human beings depend on this stored food of a plant. Bigger animals depend on smaller animals for their food. Human beings also depend on animals for the food. Coming to the components of a food, that is nothing but the nutrients in a food. There are 7 essential components or a substance will be there in the food that we call it as a nutrients. That nutrients are carbohydrates, fats, protein, mineral salts, vitamins, water and the roughages. Detailed study we are going to learn about this concept. Then there are mainly two types of nutrients, that is macronutrient and the micronutrient. Before that you have learnt about this now, about the carbohydrates, fats, proteins and minerals, vitamins, water and roughages. In these carbohydrates, fats and protein comes under the macronutrients. What is macronutrient then? That means nutrients that are required by our body in a large amount and forms the main bulk of our diet. These we call it as a macronutrient. So example for that, carbohydrates, fats and the proteins are the macronutrients. Coming to the detailed study about these kind of macronutrients, in that first one, carbohydrates. So carbohydrates commonly called as a saccharides or a sugar. So these carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. It is linked with the glycosidic bond. So these carbohydrates are linked with the glycosidic bond. Food rich in carbohydrates are potato, sweet potato, bread, rice, wheat, honey, common sugar, jaggery and milk. Most processed food like pizza, burger, jams, jellies and noodles are rich in carbohydrates. Coming to the types of carbohydrates, depending upon the saccharides or a sugar unit, the carbohydrates are classified into 3 main types. Those are, we call it as a monosaccharide. Monosaccharides means it's a simple sugar containing single saccharide unit or sugar unit. Example is glucose, galactose and fructose, all are hexose. They are actually the glucose, fructose, galactose, the structure I have given here, they are having the same chemical formula, that is C6H12 and O6. This chemical formula is similar for all the 3 types of monosaccharides, that is glucose, fructose and galactose. So these structural isomers, meaning they are having a same chemical formula but a different arrangement of atoms. Atoms arrangement will be very different when compared to one and other, but it is having the same chemical formula C6H12 and O6. This is about a monosaccharide. Next, coming to the types of another one type of a carbohydrate, that is oligosaccharide. Oligosaccharide means it has 2 to 10 saccharide or sugar units. That means monosaccharide having only single sugar unit. Oligosaccharide means it is having more than 2 saccharide units, nothing but the sugar units. Example for these oligosaccharides are hemicellulose, cellulose. These hemicellulose and cellulose are the wall material that present on the cell wall of a plant cell. So this is the structural formula of cellulose, hemicellulose. Cellulose C6H10O5 overall N, and hemicellulose having C5H8O4 overall M. So this is the wall material that present in the cell wall of a plant. Yes, coming to the another one type of carbohydrate, that is about polysaccharide. The name itself suggesting polysaccharide, that means saccharide units having more than 10 saccharide units you are going to get in the polysaccharide. Understanding? So here the examples I have given, starch C6H10O5 overall N and glycogen C24H42O21. So this is about the starch and glycogen. Here I have given the chemical structure, how you have to write this one. This is a simple starch and this one is the glycogen. Human liver stores about 100 grams of glucose as a glycogen. Here stored food material is In the plant it is starch, and stored food material in human we call it as a glycogen. So that means the human liver stores about 100 grams of glucose as a glycogen unit. That is a stored food material in human being. Nothing but animals. Skeletal muscle stores about 400 grams of glucose as a glycogen. So skeletal muscles also stores these kind of glucose and convert it into glycogen. So 400 grams of glucose will be there. Understanding? So this is about the types of carbohydrates. In the previous slide, we have learnt about the carbohydrates and types of carbohydrates, that is oligosaccharide, polysaccharide as well as a monosaccharide, along with the examples for each saccharides. Now we are going to study about the concept is protein. Proteins means these are the building blocks, that is body building food we are say it. These proteins helps in the body in its growth and repair of body cells and tissues, protect and help the body to fight against the infection and regulate the body functions. These are the main function of proteins. It is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen along with nitrogen. The carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but protein extra one is that is nitrogen. There are mainly 20 different types of amino acids are there. In that amino acids, those amino acids are linked one by one with the peptide bonds. Those carbohydrates are linked with the glycosidic bond, but proteins are linked with the peptide bonds. So types of amino acids, you can learn about the types of amino acid. There are mainly two types, that is essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Essential amino acids means it is required for the human, but it does not produced in the human body. It is actually required one, but it does not prepared in the human body. That's why we call it as a essential amino acids. Example for that is lysine and valine. Non-essential amino acids, these are prepared or synthesized in our body, but it is not necessary for our normal functioning. Understanding? So this is the non-essential amino acids. Example for this one is proline and serine. So overall example for proteins we can conclude here. Examples of protein, that is protein sources of plant origin include pulses, soya bean, pea, and to a lesser extent cereals, millets, eggs, cheese, milk, fish, and provide proteins of animal origin. So these meat, eggs, cheese, milk and fish provides proteins. These are animal origin. This is originated from the animal. We are getting these kind of protein from the animals, and these I have mentioned here no about the pulses, soya bean and peas. These are available with the help of a plant source. Understanding? So this is about the protein. So mainly these proteins are classified into simple protein, conjugated protein. So there are mainly two types of protein, that is simple protein and the conjugated protein. Simple protein means the simple protein made up of only amino acids, we call it as a simple protein. If a protein is made up of only amino acids means that we'll call it as a simple protein. Example for this is albumin, albumin, globin. Albumin you can get from the egg. Globin in the human blood you are going to get a simple protein called globin, hemoglobin. That is the heme combines with the globin to form a hemoglobin. That is blood that present in the human body. Understanding? So next coming to the another one type is conjugated protein. It's a simple protein made up of essential and non-essential amino acids. If a protein is made up of only amino acids, then we call it as a simple protein. If a simple protein is made up of essential as well as non-essential amino acids, that we call it as a conjugated protein. Example for these conjugated proteins are hemoglobin and glycoprotein. So here I have given the structure of this one. Here simple protein albumin. This is the albumin structure, and the globin, this is the globin structure. And here hemoglobin that I have given here for the conjugated protein, and this one is a glycoprotein. Understanding? So this is about the types of protein. Coming to the last one type, about the macronutrients. In that carbohydrates, proteins we have learned. So next concept we are having is about the fat. Fat nothing but the lipids. It is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but it containing less oxygen than carbohydrates. As usual, you have learnt in the carbohydrate concept. These lipids are also made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but oxygen is less than when compared to less in number when compared to carbohydrates. Lipids are made up of fatty acids. Their proteins are made up of amino acids. Here the fats are made up of fatty acids and linked by ester bond. Carbohydrates linked by glycosidic bond, protein are linked by peptide bond, and the fats are linked by ester bond. Understanding? So these are also energy giving food, producing more energy than the carbohydrates. When compared to carbohydrates, these fat will produce more energy. So fat rich foods are examples I have given here. Milk products such as butter, cheese, vegetable oil such as coconut oil, groundnut oil, nuts, milk and animal fat from meat. Fat provide more than double the energy provided by the carbohydrates or protein. When compared to carbohydrates and protein, fats will give more energy. So this is also a type of another type of macronutrient. Coming to the types of lipid, there are mainly two types: simple lipid and compound lipid. Simple lipid means it is made up of only the fatty acids and glycerol. Understanding? So if the lipid is made up of fatty acid and glycerol, it is called as a simple lipid. Example for that is fats and oil. Compound lipid means these lipids combine with the other groups like alcohol and other substance. We call it as a compound lipid. Examples: lipoprotein, terpentins. Lipoprotein nothing but there you have learned no about the lipoprotein means the lipid is attached to the protein molecule in the fluid mosaic model, that is structure of a plasma membrane. There you will get a lipoprotein. Understanding? And terpentins. So these are some examples I have listed here: avocado, coconut oil, whole egg, nuts, olives, dark chocolates, cheese, chia seeds, fatty fish. So these are some examples for the lipid. For carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. After them we will discuss about the micronutrients. So coming to the test for carbohydrates. Here the carbohydrate test is very important. In that very important test I will explain later. So for first how you are going to test the carbohydrate is a moisture test. Take 2 ml of the given sample solution. That way in that sample you have to test carbohydrate if it is present or not. That you have to check. In a clean test tube, add 2 to 3 drops of Mollins reagent. So slowly you have to add. Then now you have to add concentrated sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Along the sides of the test tube you have to add. The acid layer forms a layer at the bottom. If there is a formation of violet ring, then the presence of carbohydrate is confirmed. This is the one of the test for testing carbohydrates. Another one test you are having in the carbohydrate test is Fellon's test. Fellon's test means take 2 ml of a given sample solution in a clean test tube. Add 2 ml of Fellon's solution A and filling solution B to it. Keep the solution in a boiling water bath for about 10 minutes. If there is a formation of red precipitate, then the presence of carbohydrate is confirmed. Coming to the third test of carbohydrate is Benedict test. For Benedict test, take a given sample solution to be tested in a clean test tube. Add 5 ml of Benedict's reagent to it. Boil the solution for about 2 minutes. Cool the solution and observe the solution. If there is a formation of green, red or yellow precipitation, then there is a presence of reducing sugar. Fourth test you are having is a tolerance test. For testing tolerance test, take the given sample in a solution in a clean test tube. Add 2 to 3 ml of a tolerance reagent to it. Keep the test tube in a water bath for 1 minute. If there is the appearance of a shiny silver mirror, confirms the presence of reducing sugar. Another test is iodine test. Take the sample solution to be tested in a clean test tube. Add 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution. Observe the change in a color. If there is appearance of a blue color, then the presence of starch is confirmed. Coming to the test for protein, you are having is biuret test, very important for HSTR. Take a clean and dry test tube. Add the full food sample for your choice into the test tube. Add 2 ml of sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH, and 5 to 6 drops of copper sulfate solution to it. Shake the test tube gently and the ingredients thoroughly, and the mixture have to keep it for 4 to 5 minutes. If there is a appearance of a bluish violet color, it indicates the presence of protein. Next one you are having is a xanthoprotein test. Take a clean and dry test tube. Add the food sample for your choice into the test tube. Add a few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Shake the test tube. Heat the test tube gently on a Bunsen burner. If there is a formation of yellow precipitation, then the presence of protein is confirmed. So this is about the protein test. Another one test you are having is a Millions test. Millions test is a take a clean and dry test tube. Add the food sample of your choice into the test tube. Add 2 to 3 drops of Millions reagent and shake well. Observe the change. If there is a formation of white precipitation or if the sample changes to brick red on heating, then the protein will be confirmed. Next you are having is a ninhydrin test. Take a clean and dry test tube. Add the food sample of your choice into the test tube. Add 1 to 2 ml of a ninhydrin solution to it. Shake the test tube, boil the mixture and observe the change. If there is the appearance of deep blue or purple color, then the presence of protein is 100% confirmed. Next, last test you are having is about the lipid. Select the food sample for which you need to test for fat. In a filter paper, take a small quantity of the food. If the food sample is liquid like butter, oil and cheese, gently spread it. And if you are using a solid like for potato chips, then crush it and wrap the paper slowly. Make sure paper is not damaged. Leave the experiment undisturbed for 3 to 5 minutes aside. Now straighten the paper and allow it to complete either by keeping in a sunlight or near the open window. Now observe the changes in the paper. So this is about the test for lipid. So we have discussed about all the macronutrients and their test. Coming to the micronutrients, nutrients that are required by our body in a small quantities. These kind of nutrients we call it as a micronutrients. So vitamins, mineral salts, water, roughages comes under the micronutrient category. So in that first one we are going to study the detailed information about the mineral salts. Mineral salts are important for various body functions. They are required in a small quantities and are obtained from the food we take in. Minerals have no energy value, but still it is very important for our body. Rich sources are milk, cheese, green leafy vegetables like spinach and pulses, meat and eggs also you are going to get the mineral salts. So salts of calcium and phosphorus are required for making bones and teeth hard. For making bones and teeth hard, you required calcium and phosphorus content in your body. Next, and also for promoting blood clotting level, it is very important. Iron is essential for forming the hemoglobin. Iron content is very important. If the content will not be there, a deficiency you are having means you will get a disease called anemia. Green leafy vegetables, eggs, groundnuts and liver are good source of iron. Iodine, another minerals, controls the function of an important gland called thyroid gland. If the deficiency of iodine, that leads to a disease called goiter. Iodized salt, fish and seafood are the source of this mineral salt. So coming to the another one type of micronutrient is vitamins, water and roughages. In that particularly we will discuss about vitamins. Vitamins are neither bodybuilder nor energy giving food, but they are very important for proper functioning of our bodies. They are required by the body in a small quantities. You are going to get these kind of vitamins in the green leafy vegetables, fruits, milk, egg and cheese, which are rich in the vitamins. These vitamins are classified into two main types, about water soluble vitamin and fat soluble vitamin. Coming to the water soluble vitamins, which dissolve in water. These kind of vitamins will dissolve in the water. Example for this water soluble vitamin is vitamin K, vitamin E, vitamin D and vitamin A. You can remember this one as a Kida. A short form you can learn this as a Kida. In Hindi, Kida means insect. So these vitamins we can remember it as a insect, that is Kida. That is vitamin K, vitamin E, vitamin D and vitamin A. Another one type of vitamin is fat soluble vitamin. These vitamins are soluble in the fat, that is vitamin C and vitamin B are fat soluble vitamins. So this is about the vitamins. Coming to the water. Water is indispensable. About 70% of our body weight is that of water. It helps the body in various functions. It is a means of transporting substances in the organisms. It helps to maintain a constant body temperature because we are the human beings. We are homeotherms. Can't able to change our body temperature to the surroundings. This water helps in the absorption of food, excretion of waste products from the body. Our body needs 2 to 3 liters of water every day. Must and should have to drink 2 to 3 liters of water. And coming to the another one, micronutrient, that is roughages. Roughages are commonly called as fibers. So fiber is also found in the vegetables, fruits, beans and cereals. It has a no nutritive value, but still which helps in preventing constipation and is necessary for providing a proper functioning of the digestive system. That's why the roughages are also very important. That's why these comes under the micronutrients. Coming to the another one very important concept about is a balanced diet. So our body requires a balanced quantities of proteins, carbohydrates and fat, that is macronutrient, and vitamins, minerals, micronutrient for its proper growth and maintenance. Deficiency of one or other nutrients in the food leads to poor health and make it prone to diseases, which deficiency will get so many diseases because of these nutrients. Deficiency of food in terms of quantity or undernutrition, as it is called as a undernutrition, as it is called as a malnutrition, may lead to starvation. Inadequate diet results in the loss of weight and also the person digestive system get affected. Often a person suffer from a diseases due to improper intake of a food. The food taken in may be deficient in essential nutrients like macro and micronutrients due to the wrong food habits. So this is we call it as a malnutrition, deficiency in the nutrition, that we call it as a malnutrition. Understood? So this is about the balanced diet. If you are not getting a balanced food, that is balanced diet, in that diet should be the macro and the micronutrients should be there. If it is not there, then you are going to get so many diseases. I have listed some diseases here with these kind of micro and macronutrients. In that, especially the micronutrient and mineral salts, I have given some diseases, deficiency diseases. For in the first column you are going to get the vitamin or a mineral that is necessary for our body, and next I have given deficiency diseases or disorders, so you are going to get from that. Next, whatever the symptoms you are, will be there, so we will discuss this one by one. Vitamin A, if you are not having a vitamin in your A in your body, you are going to get a disease called loss of vision. That means symptoms how you are going to get is a poor vision, loss of vision in a darkness, night blindness you have heard, no? That way you are going to get with the deficiency of vitamin A. Sometimes complete loss of vision will also be occurring. Next, vitamin B1. This vitamin B1, if it is deficient, you are going to get a disease called beriberi. This beriberi disease means which is forms our muscle to be weak and very little energy to do work. So this is about vitamin B1. In that, next, vitamin C. Vitamin C you are going to get from the plants like citrus plants. If it is deficient in your body, means you are going to get scurvy disease. Scurvy disease means how you are going to get the symptoms means bleeding gums in the teeth. Bleeding will going to be occur, and even wounds take longer time to heal. Coming to the vitamin D, if the vitamin D is deficient, you are going to get rickets. Rickets disease means it is about the bones. The bone become soft and bent, and you can't able to walk properly. So this is the disease of rickets. If a mineral salt like calcium is deficient in your body, the disease you are going to get is bone and tooth decay. Easily your bone and tooth will going to be decay. Symptoms you are going to get is weak bones and tooth decay. Another one, mineral salt, is about iodine. If iodine deficiency will be there, means you are going to get the goiter disease. Goiter disease means in the glands, that is called thyroid gland. These glands in the neck appear swollen. These glands that will be present on the neck of the human being that will appear swollen, and mentally disability in children will also be occurring. Mental iron deficiency will be there, means you are going to get a disease called anemia. That anemia means anemia, anemia it is. You are going to get the symptoms called weakness. So you have to have a good balanced diet for your proper functioning of the body. So this is all about today's class about the test for macronutrients and even the detailed information about micronutrients. Two types, that is a water soluble vitamin and the fat soluble vitamin. For water soluble vitamin, it is vitamin C and vitamin B. Fat soluble vitamin, vitamin K, vitamin E, vitamin D and vitamin A, that is KIDA. So I have to clarify these mistake I have done in the previous class. Please sorry about these kind of a mistake I have done. Today's concept about the adulteration. Adulteration is the act of making something impure or altering its original form by adding a material or elements that aren't usually part of it, especially the inferior ones. For example, adulteration is commonly used in the context of food preparation and manufacturing in the reference to the contamination of a food. Products with additives that make them impure in some way, there are laws against adulteration, especially when the ingredients added may be harmful to the people's health. So, coming to the Adulteration Act, that is the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, amended in 1964, 1976 and 1986. The Act provides the protection from adulteration, contamination of a food that may lead to the health risk of a consumer. The Act deals with the frauds also that can perpetrated by the dealers by supplying cheaper or adulterated food. The Act regulates the use of chemicals, pesticides, flavors and other additives in a food preparation. Through this act, there is a control over dumping of substandard food, enrichment of flour, bread or other cereals with vitamins or minerals, or iodization of salts. Vitaminization of vanaspati oil, addition of vitamin C in the certain foods can be done under the provision made in this act. So coming to the common test for adulteration. Testing method for ghee. Take half tablespoon of ghee or a butter in a transparent glass bowl. Add 2 to 3 drops of a tincture of iodine. Formation of blue color indicates the presence of mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes and other starches. This is about a test for ghee. Another one test is a testing method for pure milk. Put a drop of milk on a polished slanting surface. Pure milk either stays or flows slowly, leaving a white trail behind. Milk adulterated with water will flow immediately without leaving a mark. Next, coming to the another test, that is test for sugar in honey. Take a transparent glass of water, add a drops of honey to the glass. Pure honey will not dispense in water. If the drop of honey disperse in water, it indicates the presence of added sugar. So this is the test for sugar in honey. Coming to the common test for adulteration, that is testing color in food grains. Take a transparent glass of water, add 2 tablespoons of food grains and mix thoroughly. Pure food grain will not leave any color. Adulterated food grains leaves color immediately in the water. Coming to the another test, test for papaya seed in pepper. Add some amount of black pepper to a glass of water. Pure black pepper settles at the bottom. In the adulterated black pepper, papaya seeds floats on the surface of the water. This proves the pepper is adulterated with the papaya seeds. Last method of testing, method for common salt and iodized. Cut a piece of potato, add salt and wait for a minute. Add 2 drops of lemon juice. If it is iodized salts, blue color will develop. In the case of common salt, there will be no blue color. So that's all for today's chapter. I have completed food and its components. If we have completed all the concepts that present in this unit for HSTR exam, make sure that you have subscribed to my channel and please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.